What if I told you that you could be harvesting fresh figs, pomegranates, and even apples in containers within your first year, while your neighbor waits 5 to 7 years for their standard orchard trees to produce? Most people don't know this, but the fruit tree industry has been keeping a secret from home gardeners for decades. They want you to buy those bare root whips, those 3-foot tall sticks that'll take half a decade before you see your first apple. But there's a whole category of fruit trees that laugh at conventional wisdom, produce fruit in year one, thrive in pots on your patio, and give you harvests that'll make you wonder why anyone bothers with traditional orchards. And today, I'm going to reveal 18 of them that will completely change your understanding of what's possible in container fruit growing. Stick around because number 12 on this list produces fruit that sells for $30 a pound in specialty stores, grows happily in a pot on your balcony, and will give you your first harvest within 8 months of planting. And number 18 is so productive that a single container plant can give you over 100 pounds of fruit in one season once it hits its stride. Hey there, fruit lovers and container gardening enthusiasts. If you're new here, welcome. We're all about practical growing advice that actually works in the real world, not the fantasy land of glossy gardening catalogs. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because we're dropping videos every single week that'll save you years of waiting and hundreds of dollars in mistakes. Seriously, click it now. This channel is growing fast because we tell you the truth that commercial nurseries don't want you to know. And to those of you who've been here before, who've already started your container orchards based on our previous videos, thank you. Your success stories and pictures of first-year harvests fuel every script I write. Keep them coming. Today, we're diving into the world of fast-producing container fruit trees, and I'm telling you, this information is going to make you both excited and a little bit angry. Excited because you're about to discover you can have fresh fruit way sooner than you ever imagined. Angry because you'll realize the industry has been selling you a lie for years. See, conventional fruit tree nurseries make their money selling you standard-sized trees and rootstock that takes forever to produce. They want you committed to waiting because waiting means you keep coming back to buy more supplies, more fertilizers, more solutions to problems that shouldn't exist in the first place. But here's what they don't tell you. Fruit trees on dwarfing rootstock, specific naturally compact varieties, and certain tropical and subtropical fruits will absolutely produce in containers within the first year. Some will give you fruit within months of planting. Not a few test fruits, but actual harvests you can preserve, share, and brag about. So let's get into it. Here are 18 container fruit trees that'll produce in year one, ranked from impressive to absolutely mind-blowing. Number 1, let's start with figs, and specifically the Petite Negre variety. Figs are absolutely the gateway drug to fast container fruit production. A Petite Negre fig tree will give you fruit the same year you plant it, sometimes within 4 to 6 months. These trees are naturally inclined to fruit heavily and early. Petite Negre stays compact, topping out around 4 to 6 feet even without pruning, making it perfect for containers. The figs are small, dark purple, and intensely sweet. One tree in a 15-gallon pot can easily give you 30 to 50 figs in the first season. The beauty of figs is they're self-pollinating, so you don't need multiple trees. They handle container life better than almost any other fruit tree because their root systems are naturally compact. They actually produce better when root-bound, which is the opposite of most plants. And here's the kicker. Figs are nearly indestructible. They handle heat, drought once established, and can even tolerate temperatures down to about 15 degrees Fahrenheit if you protect the container. Number 2 is the improved Meyer lemon. Now, all citrus trees will fruit relatively young, but improved Meyer lemon is special. These trees often come from nurseries already loaded with flower buds. You can literally buy one, bring it home, and have lemons developing within weeks. Meyer lemons are a cross between a true lemon and a mandarin orange, giving you fruits that are sweeter and less acidic than regular lemons. The tree stays naturally compact, around 4 to 6 feet in a container, and it's evergreen, so it looks beautiful year-round. In its first year, a healthy Meyer lemon in a container can give you 10 to 20 lemons, which is incredible considering you just planted it. The tree blooms multiple times throughout the year in warm climates, meaning you can have flowers and fruit at the same time. It's like a factory that never shuts down. Now, Meyer lemons are frost-sensitive, so if you're in a cold climate, you'll need to bring them indoors for winter. But that's actually an advantage. Number 3 is the pineapple guava, also called feijoa. This one's underrated and overlooked, which is a shame because it's phenomenally productive and fast. Pineapple guava trees will bloom and fruit in their first or second year, giving you exotic fruits that taste like a combination of pineapple, guava, strawberry, and mint. The trees are evergreen with silvery foliage that looks ornamental. The flowers are edible and taste sweet, so even before you get fruit, you're harvesting something. In containers, pineapple guava stays around 5 to 7 feet and handles pruning beautifully, so you can keep it whatever size fits your space. The fruit ripens in fall, and a young tree can give you 20 to 40 fruits in its first productive year. These trees are cold hardy for a fruiting evergreen, handling temperatures down to about 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. They're drought tolerant once established. They have no significant pest problems. Number 4, the Barbados cherry, also called acerola. Now we're getting into the serious heavy hitters. Barbados cherry is a tropical shrub that produces small, bright red cherries absolutely loaded with vitamin C. We're talking 30 times more vitamin C than an orange. These plants will fruit within 6 to 12 months of planting, and once they start, they don't stop. In warm climates, Barbados cherry produces year-round. In containers, you can control the environment and get multiple harvests annually. The cherries taste tart and sweet, like a cross between a cherry and a cranberry. One plant in a 10-gallon container can produce several pounds of fruit in its first year. The plant stays compact naturally, around 3 to 5 feet in a pot. It has pretty pink flowers that are constantly blooming. And here's the beautiful thing. Barbados cherry is so productive that your main problem will be figuring out what to do with all the fruit. Make juice, freeze them, dehydrate them, or just eat them fresh and become the healthiest person on your block. It's the fruit tree equivalent of an overachiever who makes everyone else look lazy. Number 5 is the dwarf mulberry, specifically the dwarf everbearing variety. Mulberries fruit young anyway, but the dwarf varieties are absolutely unstoppable in containers. You plant one, and within the first growing season, you're picking berries. Dwarf everbearing mulberry grows to about 6 feet in a container and produces long, blackberry-like fruits that are sweet, juicy, and absolutely delicious. The tree fruits continuously throughout summer, giving you harvests over several months instead of all at once. In its first productive year, you can expect several quarts of berries. Mulberries are self-pollinating, cold hardy to about -20 degrees Fahrenheit, and handle container life without complaint. They need virtually no pest or disease management. Birds love them, which is actually great because you'll have so many berries that sharing with wildlife isn't a problem. And if birds become a nuisance, just throw some netting over the container. Number 6 is the jaboticaba, and this is where things get really interesting. Jaboticaba is a Brazilian fruit tree that produces grape-like fruits directly on its trunk and branches, which looks absolutely bizarre and beautiful. Now, traditionally, jaboticaba takes years to fruit, but here's the secret nurseries don't advertise. You can buy grafted specimens that are already mature and will fruit within the first year after planting. The fruits taste like a muscadine grape with hints of cherry, and the tree can produce multiple flushes of fruit per year in the right conditions. In containers, jaboticaba stays compact, around 5 to 8 feet with regular pruning. It's evergreen with beautiful glossy leaves. It tolerates container life beautifully and actually prefers slightly acidic soil, which is easy to manage in a pot. A young grafted tree can give you dozens to hundreds of fruits in its first productive year. Number 7 is the kumquat, specifically the Nagami variety. Kumquats are the tiny citrus fruits you eat whole, skin and all. The skin is sweet, the flesh is tart, and together they're addictive. Kumquat trees fruit incredibly young, often in their first year, and they're absurdly productive for their size. A 3-foot-tall kumquat tree in a container can be absolutely loaded with dozens of fruits. Nagami kumquats are oval-shaped, bright orange, and ripen in winter, giving you fresh citrus exactly when you need it most. The tree is more cold hardy than most citrus, tolerating temperatures down to about 15 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit. It's evergreen, compact, and looks beautiful year-round with its dark green foliage. Kumquats handle container culture perfectly because they naturally stay small. You can grow them on a patio, a balcony, even a sunny windowsill if you have a big enough window. First-year production can easily be 40 to 60 fruits, which is phenomenal for a tree you just planted. Number 8, the strawberry tree, which is actually not a berry at all, but produces round, bumpy red fruits that taste like a cross between a strawberry and a mango with a hint of apricot. Strawberry trees are Mediterranean natives that handle container growing beautifully. They're evergreen, drought-tolerant, and they'll start fruiting within 1 to 2 years. The tree produces white, bell-shaped flowers that look like lily of the valley, followed by fruits that ripen over several months. In a container, strawberry tree stays around 5 to 8 feet and can be pruned to any shape you want. First-year production on a grafted or advanced specimen can give you dozens of fruits. The fruits are unusual looking, like little red lychees, and they're high in antioxidants and vitamin C. Strawberry tree is cold hardy to about 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, handles heat beautifully, and has zero pest problems in most areas. Number 9 is dwarf banana, specifically the dwarf Cavendish variety. Yes, bananas in containers, and yes, they'll produce in the first year if you buy a decent-sized starter plant. Dwarf Cavendish bananas grow 6 to 8 feet tall, which sounds big, but is actually compact for a banana plant. They'll produce a flower stalk within 10 to 15 months of planting, followed by a hand of bananas. One plant in a large container, like a 20-gallon pot, can give you 40 to 80 bananas in its first fruiting cycle. The bananas are smaller than grocery store varieties, but sweeter and creamier. Growing bananas in containers is easier than you'd think. They need lots of water, lots of fertilizer, and warm temperatures, but if you give them that, they're unstoppable. In cold climates, you bring them into a greenhouse or sunny indoor space for winter. The plant dies back after fruiting, but it produces pups that become your next generation of plants. Number 10 is the miracle fruit plant, and this one's just plain fun. Miracle fruit produces small red berries that contain a protein called miraculin, which temporarily makes sour foods taste sweet. Eat one miracle berry, and for the next 30 to 60 minutes, lemons taste like lemonade, vinegar tastes like apple juice, and sour candies become flavor bombs. The plant is a compact shrub that thrives in containers. It'll fruit within 1 to 2 years, producing berries sporadically throughout the year in the right conditions. The berries themselves are mildly sweet but not particularly flavorful. Their magic is in the effect they have on your taste buds. Miracle fruit plants prefer acidic soil, shade to partial sun, and consistent moisture. In a container, they stay around 3 to 5 feet tall. Number 11 is the Calamandan orange, and this might be the toughest, most productive container citrus you can grow. Calamandans are tiny, tart oranges that are used like limes or lemons in Filipino cooking. The tree fruits prolifically, often producing hundreds of fruits per year once established, and it'll start in year 1. Calamandan trees stay naturally compact, around 3 to 6 feet in containers. They're more cold hardy than most citrus, tolerating brief dips to about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The tree is nearly ever blooming, meaning you'll have flowers and fruit at all stages simultaneously. It's visually stunning and incredibly productive. In its first year, a healthy calamandan can give you 30 to 50 fruits easily. The fruits are too tart to eat fresh for most people, but they make incredible marmalade, juice, and flavoring for drinks and dishes. The tree handles neglect better than other citrus. It tolerates lower light, inconsistent watering, and less than perfect soil. Number 12, and this is the one I teased at the beginning, is the finger lime. This Australian native produces elongated finger-shaped limes filled with tiny caviar-like pearls of juice. Chefs call them citrus caviar and pay premium prices because they're stunning on plates and burst with intense lime flavor. Finger lime trees will fruit within 1 to 2 years, and in containers, they stay compact at around 4 to 6 feet. The fruits come in multiple colors: green, red, pink, yellow, and even purple. Each one is filled with hundreds of juice vesicles that look like tiny gems. A first-year tree can produce 10 to 20 finger limes, and considering they sell for $20 to $40 per pound in specialty markets, that's incredible value. Finger limes prefer slightly acidic soil and partial shade in hot climates. They're more cold-hardy than you'd expect for a tropical fruit, handling brief temperatures down to about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. The tree has thorns, so be careful during harvest, but that's a small price to pay for growing something this exotic and valuable. It's like growing edible jewelry that also happens to taste amazing. Number 13 is the Suriname cherry, and this one's a powerhouse. Suriname cherry is a tropical shrub that produces ribbed, bright red fruits that taste like a mix of cherry and pepper with a slightly resinous note. It's an acquired taste for some, but fans absolutely love it. The plant fruits within its first year and produces multiple flushes annually in warm climates. In containers, Suriname cherry stays around 4 to 6 feet and responds beautifully to pruning, so you can shape it however you want. The fruits ripen to deep red or almost black, and a young plant can give you dozens to over 100 fruits in its first productive season. The plant has glossy, evergreen foliage, white flowers that smell sweet, and it's remarkably pest-free. It handles heat, humidity, and even brief dry spells once established. In cold climates, bring it indoors for winter and enjoy its ornamental value year-round. The fruits make excellent jelly, juice, and wine. They're high in antioxidants and vitamin C. Number 14 is the Desert King fig, and I'm including a second fig because this variety deserves special mention. Desert King is unique because it's bred for cooler climates and produces a large early crop on old wood, meaning you get figs even if the tree dies back in winter. In containers, Desert King will give you fruit in year 1, sometimes within months of planting. The figs are large, green-skinned, and have strawberry pink flesh that's incredibly sweet. One tree can produce 30 to 60 figs in its first season in a 15-gallon container. What makes Desert King special for container growers is its reliability. It doesn't need hot summers to ripen fruit like some figs do. It tolerates cool coastal climates and still produces abundantly. The tree stays compact naturally, and it handles pruning well, so size control is easy. Desert King is self-pollinating, pest-resistant, and nearly foolproof. Number 15 is the dwarf pomegranate, specifically the wonderful variety grafted onto dwarfing rootstock. Standard pomegranates take years to fruit, but dwarf varieties will produce in year 1 or 2. The tree stays compact in containers, around 4 to 6 feet tall, and produces full-sized fruits that are absolutely packed with arils. In its first fruiting year, you can expect 3 to 8 pomegranates, which might not sound like much until you realize how much juice and how many arils are in each fruit. Pomegranates are self-pollinating, drought-tolerant, and have spectacular orange-red flowers in summer. They're deciduous, which means they lose leaves in winter, but that actually makes them easier to overwinter in cold climates. Just bring the dormant container into a garage or basement. Pomegranates need heat to ripen properly, so they do best in warm summer areas. But the payoff is fruit that tastes infinitely better than anything in stores. Homegrown pomegranates are sweeter, juicier, and more complex in flavor. Number 16 is the acerola cherry's cousin, the pitanga, also called Brazilian cherry or Eugenia uniflora. Pitanga produces small, ribbed fruits that look like tiny pumpkins and taste like a combination of cherry, mango, and pepper. The flavor is unique and tropical, perfect for fresh eating, juices, and jams. Pitanga plants fruit within their first year and can produce multiple crops annually in warm climates. In containers, pitanga stays compact at 4 to 6 feet with regular pruning. The plant has dense, evergreen foliage that can be shaped into a hedge or topiary. It produces fragrant white flowers, followed by fruits that ripen from green to orange to deep red or black, depending on the variety. A young plant can easily produce 50 to 100 fruits in its first productive season. Pitanga is nearly pest-free, handles heat and humidity beautifully, and tolerates brief droughts once established. The fruits are high in antioxidants and vitamin A. Number 17 is the che fruit, also called Chinese mulberry or Codania triloba. This one's rare and underrated, but it's an absolute gem for container growing. Che fruit trees produce oval, red fruits that taste like a cross between a watermelon, a fig, and a mulberry. The texture is soft and juicy, and the flavor is sweet and refreshing. Che fruit trees will start producing within 1 to 2 years, and grafted specimens often fruit in their first season. In containers, the tree stays around 6 to 8 feet and handles pruning well. It's deciduous and cold-hardy to about 0 degrees Fahrenheit, making it suitable for a wide range of climates. The tree is self-pollinating, pest-resistant, and drought-tolerant once established. First-year production can give you a dozen or more fruits, each about the size of a small fig. Che fruit is almost unknown outside of fruit collector circles, which makes growing it even more special. And finally, number 18, the ultimate container fruit tree for fast production and sheer volume, the patio peach. Specifically, look for varieties like Bonanza or El Dorado, bred specifically for container growing. These are genetic dwarf peaches that stay under 6 feet even at maturity and fruit heavily in year 1. I'm not exaggerating when I say a healthy patio peach in a 15-gallon container can produce 20 to 40 full-sized peaches in its first fruiting year. The fruits are identical to regular peaches, sweet, juicy, and absolutely delicious, but the tree is a fraction of the size. Patio peaches are self-pollinating, so you only need one tree. They require winter chill, which means they need a certain number of hours below 45 degrees Fahrenheit to fruit properly. But in containers, you can actually move them to cold storage to meet chill requirements, giving you control over fruiting. The tree blooms in early spring with gorgeous pink flowers, then sets fruit that ripens in summer. It's deciduous, which makes overwintering in cold climates easy. Just move the dormant tree to an unheated garage. And here's the beautiful thing. Patio peaches prove that you don't need a farm or even a yard to grow tree fruit. You can have fresh peaches on an apartment balcony. So there you have it. 18 container fruit trees that will produce in year 1, giving you harvests while your neighbors are still waiting for their standard orchard trees to mature. Trees that prove the conventional wisdom about fruit growing is outdated and often wrong. Trees that thrive in pots, produce quickly, and give you flavors and varieties you literally cannot buy in stores. Here's what I want you to understand. The fruit tree industry operates on models developed for commercial orchards and rural homesteads. They're selling you trees designed for in-ground planting with timelines based on field production. So here's my challenge to you. Pick 3 trees from this list. Just 3. Order them from a reputable specialty nursery that sells grafted or advanced specimens, not tiny seedlings. Get appropriate containers, at least 15 gallons for most of these trees. Use quality potting soil with good drainage. Place them in a sunny spot, water consistently, and fertilize regularly. Then sit back and watch what happens. I guarantee that within 1 growing season, you'll be harvesting fruit. Real delicious, fresh fruit from trees you planted. And once you experience that, once you taste a homegrown fig or a freshly picked Meyer lemon, you'll never look at fruit growing the same way. You'll realize that everything you were told about needing years of patience was based on outdated information. You'll understand that containers give you control and speed that in-ground planting can't match, and you'll wonder why more people aren't doing this. If you found this valuable and you're ready to start your container orchard journey, hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm that this information needs to reach more people, more gardeners who are tired of waiting and ready to harvest. And drop a comment below telling me which tree you're most excited to try. Are you going tropical with bananas and miracle fruit, staying classic with citrus and figs, or getting exotic with finger limes and jaboticaba? I read every single comment and I love hearing what you're planning. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because we're releasing new videos every week that'll show you exactly how to grow each of these trees, how to troubleshoot problems, and how to maximize production. We're building a community here of gardeners who refuse to accept conventional limits, who experiment with new varieties, and who actually harvest abundant food instead of just dreaming about it. This is just the beginning. Until next time, keep growing, keep experimenting, and remember that the best fruit is always the fruit you grow yourself. Now get out there and start your container orchard. I'll see you in the next video.